So thank you, and now I will turn it over to our presenter, Lior Gerling.
Thank you very much, Alison. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, thank you again, Alison. And I'm very excited today because we got hundreds of people joining us to the Hangouts. And it's extremely important because A360 really changed the way they work today. So I'm really excited, and again, thank you very much for the opportunity to go and present you what is really new in A360. So let's start it. So today what I'm going to talk about it is how A360 reinvent the way we collaborate today, help us to be more productive, and provide the right experience no matter if you are a designer, engineer, manager, supplier, or any other stakeholders. So if you look at our customer, no matter what size or industry, whether they are working on the latest consumer product, a new skyscraper, a bridge, or a special effects like for blockbuster movies, yeah, we have also that one. They all have something in common. They work in teams, they work in projects, and of course, on many, many different types of data. What we also notice is that they are working in more distributed way, often with teams of people across different companies dispersed all around the world, no matter what. And that's what really causes what we call like more pain and chaotic environment. Now, what these teams, they've struggled for many, many years to organize all the related information and projects that they're using today. They try to use emails and SharePoint, and now you can actually even notice, and you guys know better than I am, you started to use Dropbox, Box, and OneDrive, all of those modern storage. Try to find out a way to mitigate those gaps with simple sharing solutions, or just, try to be more collaborative. But still, this is not really enough. Why? They all need to share information with their team, the customers, and their supply chain in a native format. They need to view rich and complex design and engineering data, no matter which format they are, 2D, 3D, PDF. And of course, they really need to find the critical data quickly and easily whenever they need it. To those ends, they need a solution that was purpose-built for the world of design and engineering, not just a product with a collection of email messaging and file sharing tools. One that really understands the context of design, provide means to work with rich visual 3D information, and really supports a distributed, mobile, and flexible team. Well, this is all about A360. And this is what I really want to show you today. So the people who are already familiar with A360, so you're already familiar with the story and you understand the value. But the people, we have some folks that never been familiar with A360, and this is really your one-stop. This is a tool that can really help you to view, share, review, and find all your design and project data in one place, what we call the intelligent workspace. So let's get and see what is really A360. So A360 is the leading cloud-based platform that places powerful collaboration tools in the hands of designer engineers, no matter if they're internal or external. I'd love to read this statement, because this is what really it is. No matter where you are, what device you're on, A360 enables you to securely view, share, review, find, and manage every kind of data from any kind of this device. So let's read down and look what is really unique with the new A360 experience. So with our new experience, your project is designed with a focus around data. After all, what is really important for us is our data, is it? We can quickly view a thumbnail of the data and take a quick action. And of course, if you look at the right side, we can also see all the relevant project and file activities. So the focus now is basically your data, easy access to your data. All right, the next one, this is my favorite one, live review. we all know how difficult it is to have everyone on the same page, especially when we work together with people on complex design. They need to point on a specific component, highlight a part, or even just present the right angle and try to pass it through the phone. Very important action for a true collaboration in a design review process. Think about it. This is exactly what we always say, a picture worth 1,000 words. And if we can deliver that message to people just by sharing a link or just creating a live review that multiple people simultaneously accessing to that and can see exactly all what we point in and all what we do, this is a true collaboration. The next one. So what you see right now, this is what the new immersive viewer. It's bigger, it's faster, with a better experience. All what you need is under your control. You can see your comments, you can see you have a way to go and share, and of course launch the live review, and of course all the model browser with an easy way to go and search for this information. Of course I will demo that today and I will show you the magic later on. What about the next one? So the next one, this is what I call the cherry on top of the cream. This is not just a file sharing solution. It's not just go and share the file itself. It's a tool that really understands your design. Especially for manufacturing design, A360 will list all the relevant parts and associated files in one location. In this page, what you actually see, you will be able to see your assembly and all of the where it is being used and all the parts that it is actually using. And of course, all the related data, CAM or its simulations or any rendering, everything will be listed in one page. Again, this is what we call the smart design metadata. And of course, for the other file types, A360 will display associated files or models or any 2D or 3D file associated with that. And the next one. So this is what we call the overview page. It was designed to help you and your team to get all the information they need about the design. Who uploaded versions, any comments that we have here, or any versions that we have. And of course, what we talked about at again, any associated files or sheets for that specific Revit file, for example. This would align all the distributed teams so they can be on the same page. This is, again, a true collaboration, and that's what A360 helps about. So if we look at all of those values, this is what I call the Fantastic Five. So those are really the major changes that we just apply with the new experience of A360, and really can help. And when we design that, we look at every angle to make sure that it's really contributes as part of your true collaboration. But, you know, one of the big things that we also noticed that it's extremely valuable for our customers is the viewer. It's bigger, as I mentioned before. You have a way to go and search within the model for different components, see the properties. But it brings you closer to your customer when you share concept or design ideas. So think about it when you share it with customers. It makes your supply engagement more reliable by reviewing design in full detail. And of course, it's really make the sharing design with your team more fun. Like, just go play with this, go and change the angle, and of course, I will show you a demo, some more fascinating stuff. But more than that, we support more than 100 2D and 3D formats. And it does it really extremely well with all Autodesk formats. But of course, from some of the competitive, like SolidWorks, CATIA, and Creo. And of course, mobile. We shouldn't forget about that. We support Android and iOS. So no matter if you are on the go or on the web, you will be able to go and view all of those designs, collaborate with your customers. On mobile, you also have a way to mark up. And most importantly, you can view all of those designs offline. And now let's go start with the fun. So let me just go launch the web. And I'm going to show you how A360 in action. Hold on. All right. So I'm going to start from the beginning. The best way to go, a360.autodesk.com. This is our portal for A360. Click on the sign in. Of course, using my credentials to sign in securely into A360. And the first thing that I'm going to see is my list of all of the projects that I have. So if you notice, we also have A360 Drive. If you don't see A360 Drive and you do have an A360 Drive account, you can always go to your setting within your profile and then select turn on the show A360 Drive, just for your information. This is the list of all of my projects. And if you notice what we did right now, again, we focus on the data. So we centralize all of your list of projects in one place. And of course, you have a way to go and filter all the ones that you pinned or favorite, in other words, or the ones that share with me, of course, the ones that you archived, owned by me. And if you look at the right, this is where all of your list activities from all of your projects, you can see and drill down to every one of what happened to your project recently. All right, so let's go drill down into one of the collaboration projects. So if I get into the project itself, again, data is in the focus. Here I love to get the thumbnail view. For me, it's an easy way to find out exactly the design. Of course, you can go with a list view and get the whole list of all of your files. Thumbnails is very easy for me to find exactly the files that I want to. Again, on the right, I can see all of the collaboration project information, who are the people who are invited to the projects. I can see and manage them. Of course, any activities around the project or files, I can see exactly what is changed. And of course, I have an upload option. And I want to talk a little bit about that. So when I go to the upload, I see file, folders, assembly, or a model. And of course, we also start to add in some of the cloud options so you can upload from your cloud information. But remember when I was talking about something that A360 understand the design of the concept? Let's have a look at this. So if I upload a folder, let's go and find a very cool folder. So I have a design accelerator. This is, if we look at the exactly of that file, let me just open that so you can understand what is this. What is this file? Hold on, stay tuned. There you go. So if we look at this folder, I have like an inventor file with a bunch of parts, and of course the parent file. Now, if you upload that to any other cloud sharing solution, what it does is just going to list those files into, but there is no smart logic around that. But if I just go select that folder and upload, we understand that this is an assembly or a model. If I click yes, what we're actually going to do, we are trying to find out a parent file. So it's not just uploading a bunch of files. You upload in a model or an assembly, and we understand that logic. And this is what all about A360. We understand the design around everything. So if I just start uploading it, you will upload that assembly as a single file with all the reference files and all the parts in one assembly or a model. Cool. All right. So let's go and drill down. And of course, you know, you can do, when you go to your files, you have quick actions that you can do. One thing that I also like, and you can always use whenever you want to go and edit an Office file, what happens is we have the desktop app that you need to install. Of course, when you click edit, it will go and guide you to install it. But what it does, it links to, it will open in your Word, Office, or any Office files within your desktop. You can edit and save it back directly to A360 without the need to go and upload a new version. So that's the edit things here for all of those Office files. One thing that I forgot to mention, which I think is extremely important, when you see all of these files, there are so many different files. So imagine just that you have a team that's working on a different tools, SolidWorks, Inventor, or just, you know, Revit or AutoCAD. You have one tool that can literally understand all of those data, and you can see that without the need to go download any of those software. So think about it to those external users that you're collaborating with them. Go and share a file with them without the need for them to go and download the software. It's extremely valuable for both of you. All right, let's go and drill down and see more of the magic happening here. So I clicked on the overview for our Revit files. Of course, you know, architects love those files, instructions. And what you see right now is what I call like the file overview, where I can see, you know, all the different versions that were uploaded by different people, different comments that happening from different versions, all the associated files, sheets, in this case for Revit. And I can easily just go click on that and view that 2D if I want to. What I want to do is actually show you and try to impress you a little bit from our viewer. For the guys that are already familiar with A360, I'm sure they love that. The ones that are not familiar, this is a world-class viewer. So the new viewer, of course, gives you more flexibility to go and drill down, zoom in, of course, to do sectioning. And for 2Ds, you also have options to go and do measures. If I click on the comments on the right, then I will start seeing more fascinating collaboration features. So right now what I see is I see all the teams that they pointed to specific parts or components or certain points, and they just said, okay, there is a problem with this section, or, you know, I want to make a comment, or I just released a new version. For example, like what Ellison did, she just released a new version, but she just pointed what exactly she did. If I click on that, what it's really doing is actually zooming to exactly the part that you just did. So if she made a comment, she actually pointed that. And I can just jump between the different comments and see exactly, even if I just focus on a specific rule for in this example, you just jump and keep and remain the same state as what the comment was. And of course, if I want to check what happened in a previous version and just make sure that it's really done correctly, I can just go, okay, I made a request to go change the roof thickness to different measure, and I can check and see, of course, if this is changed or not, you know, by just going and check the properties and go drill down and see, oh, well, it's not done yet. All right, I'm going to talk to the teams and see what's going on. Of course, I can just jump to different versions, and if I just want to go and look quickly on the different sheets, I'm just going to go and jump into one of them, let's say the ground floor, and it will load the 2D sheets for me immediately on that one. All right, so let's go back to our 3D. So the next thing I want to show you is our sharing capabilities. So if I click on a share, and it's extremely important, again, and I really want to highlight because it's a great benefit for all of us. If I need to go and collaborate with someone, instead of sending like some instructions and try to explain to people what exactly the part that I'm talking about, if I share and copy the link here to my external user, you will be able to go and get in. It doesn't need to go and log in. And of course, if I need to have it more secure, of course, I can require password to access to this link. And of course, I can restrict the download, but they can see that view. They can actually look at that and tell me exactly what they need to as part of the changes. Of course, I can email, or if I just want to go and create an embedded view into, let's say, my portals or my wiki or the BKMs, the known methods pages, I can always use that. The last one, and I think this is what we mentioned before, the live review. So what I'm going to do right now, I will show you how live reviews really works and can really benefit your team. So I'll just launch the session. And let's take a look here. All right, I'm going to, of course, my name. Awesome. So what you see right now, I just launched the session. I can copy that link and send it to other people. So in this case, I'm actually going to invite Bud and Brad. So Bud and Brad, please join us, so we can see we can all collaborate. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to act as a different user on this screen. So I'm just going to open a new browser, so you will be able to see the difference between the screen and see the whole, how it's really multiple people can work at the same time. So let's get this again, just make the screen look nicer. Hold on, just trying to minimize it so it will look good. All right. Okay, awesome. So I have two users. Actually, it's the same naming. This is the host, this is me, this is the other user. And I see bots just join us. And of course, we can have multiple people joining us. But this is what really is fascinating. So if you look at the left screen, I am the host, and I'm the one that's driving. The right screen, this is the other person. And you can see the pointing, the red point where I'm pointing to exact things. And of course, what you see right now, I'm changing the zoom and the angle. And that's reflecting the other one. And to make it even more complex, I'm just going to highlight. And this, for example, or even I can just go isolate and just focus on these things. And the screen will be changed on the other user. And you can see exactly what I'm focused on. And so if we are talking on, and we want to be on the same page, there is no better way to go and simultaneously connect to those users and work together. All right.
You want me to show taking control?
Yes, Bud, thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead. So Bud can actually take control, and actually I'm not driving anymore. And you can see those two screens can see, those two users can see what he's doing. And of course, he can start talking to me and say, well, I need you to go change this part. So instead of asking which part, what are you talking about, he actually can show me live. And even more than that, we can make comments. So if, for example, we don't have a phone or we just want to go and chat, I can just go trigger a quick comment. And then can go and open that in his side. Of course, you can see that everyone see all of the comments, all users. Perfect. All right. I stop here for a second just to make sure how we are doing on the questions. Is there any questions from the audience? Or are you guys, Bud and Brett, are you guys okay? Is there any interesting questions we should just talk to everyone?
I gave a couple to Allison. Allison, did you want to ask them, or do you want us to give them direct?
Yeah, sure. Well, the first one was, what is the difference between A360 and A360 Drive?
That's a correct question. So before, I would say before the new A360, we had two instances of A360. The A360 Team, which is basically a project-based solution, and of course A360 Drive, which is more the desktop thing. And you have the options to go sync your files from your desktop. For the new A360 experience, what you see right now, we combine those two together. So if you already have a previous account of A360 Drive, you will be able to go and see that from the new A360. The desktop sync works the same case for that A360 Drive. And right now, we only talk about A360, one product for all of that. And Bud and Brad, if you guys want to add for that one.
No, that sounded good.
All right. All right, let me end this session.
Hey, there's a question here.
Another. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, so Lior, specific to live review attached to, is it specific to the view project? We have a ranking from a security standpoint.
Hey, Brad, I am having a hard time to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, we have a customer asking about if the live review is tied just specifically to the project or to the viewer itself, meaning any start a live review outside of a project kind of a thing.
Thanks. So I'm just going to repeat the question. So if I understood correctly, you're talking about if the live review is tied to the projects or to the viewer. So the live review is actually tied to the file itself. So what I do actually, I'm actually drilling down into the file. And if I want to do a live review, I'm going to do live review for that specific file. That will launch our special viewer in a separate session for that specific file. And we can collaborate with other people simultaneously, look at the same things, the same view for that specific file within that project.
Gotcha. Can you still hear me okay, Lior? Because there's another one that is specific to Drive that we just answered just a second ago. Can you still hear me okay? Yeah, so there we have a customer asking, what is the plan for Drive? Let's see here. Again, just refresh on me. So moved. What's the plan for A360 Drive going forward? Is A360 Drive is free with subscription, obviously. A360 Teams, so the plan of Drive team
we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Do you want to just type in the chat box the question that you're referring to?
Yep, I will do.
Okay. I think I understood some of the questions. I'm going to answer some of them and, of course, provide more information. So I will start with the A360 offering. You can always go to our home page to learn a little bit more about the A360. Right now, if you go get a free account, you will get what we call the A360 Personal. That just you will be able to go and create one project. If you go to pricing, it actually makes a little bit more sense. So for A360, you can just go create one project. You have 5 GB of storage. For the A360 team, this is where you can get the unlimited projects. You can invite team members that will be able to go and view all of the projects within that environment. And of course, you get more administration control and ability for having an admin to go and control your environment. So that's for the A360 team. In regards to the A360 Drive, so our goal is basically, we all have heard about the whole confusion between the different A360 variations. Our goal is to get one A360 that connect everything and basically offer all the functionality we need into one location. Our goal with A360 Drive is to combine that, and we actually, I would say, halfway with the whole integration, and we're actually working very hard to get something done even within the end of the year to catch up with all the functionality we have within A360 Drive in the old version into the new A360 experience. So you only need to go to one A360, and in this case, you will see your old A360 Drive, and of course, you will be able to go and explore files there.
Great, thanks, Lior. Bud, do you have another question from the chat box?
Yeah, one of the other questions that came in, Lior, they want to know if they're able to set permissions in A360.
That's a great question. So what we are actually working on is to improve the way we're going to make the permissions. Something that we are about to release next quarter is to enhance all of those permissions. So right now, what you can do, you can invite and set up either an admin or a member. In the future, we are talking about to get more roles and permissions. So your collaboration or restrictions for that collaboration will provide you a little bit more. For example, we're talking about the viewer role and much more stuff that will come up in a very, very near future. Okay. So I can entertain you guys for another thing. So especially for manufacturing. So remember I showed you like the whole design metadata and everything. So I want to show you how it's really worked today. So if I'm looking right now in one of the assembly I have here, I can see all of the parts for that specific assembly. If I go to a specific assembly, again, let's call it a build assembly. This is our Ember, our 3D printing, by the way. I can see all of the parts that that assembly used. I can jump and quickly view that and see the versions. I can see where this assembly is used as a whole in the entire assembly. Of course, this is just a sub-assembly, but you also have a full assembly here. If we look more, we can also see all the related data, if there is a CAM files or any animations, that simulation, for example. And if I start viewing this tool, I can view all of this assembly together with any simulation that I have. So let's take a look at this. All right, so I have this assembly together with all the parts. And then if I click animation, let's look at the storyboard right now. All right, and just play with this, play the simulation. And of course, you can see that is running. This is made by Fusion, by the way. So we have extremely tight integration with Fusion. So as you know, when you create an assembly, it will be saved into A360. If you create simulations, if you create a CAM or any different parts, it will be saved directly to A360. And what does it really mean? You can both collaborate, and if you share those files with your other collaborators externally or internally, they will be able to go and see these CAMs or those simulations without, again, the need to go and download anything from their side. Okay. Back to you, Alison. Any other questions we have? We'd be more than glad to go and answer, or even just if demo needs.
One quick question for you, Lior, that may not have come through when you were demoing. Can you just talk a little bit about how an assembly is uploaded? For example, if you have a file with references in it. I know you were showing that in the upload, but a customer had asked a question about that as well. Maybe just talk a little bit about how to get the files into the folder so that the references are loaded as well.
Yes. So when you look at here on the different type of upload versions, so of course I can upload the individual files and folders as I show you, which we understand exactly the concept of what exists in the folders, and we try to identify if there is a parent with extra files. Again, it happened with an assembly. If I go select that assembly, let's say, for example, this is more inventor files that we had before, it will just get you directly to the page that we had on the folder itself. So in this case, we actually telling them, okay, this is an assembly. I know this is assembly. I'm just going to upload all of those files. And all the reference files will come up here. And I just need to go and select, okay, what is the parent files that I associated for those files. So I know for assembly it can be used also for manufacturing, and for AEC type of files, we also look at the modules, but it acts the same way.
Great. We have another question here. For the live experience, is that only on audio or on video, or is there also audio?
Today we only allow the live review is allowing only what we call the web experience, that multiple people can join into the same page, the same viewer. This is only the web, not really a video. Right now we are not considering any voice. However, we also considering more what we call host privilege, a presenter privilege, so you can go and grant access to people to go and start demo. Especially when you're in design review, you don't want anyone else to go start messing with your presentation while you do the design review. In this case, we're going to release more enhancement to this environment where you're going to be the host, you will have the control, and of course, much more in the future, features, interesting stuff. All right.
Great. Okay, and so we have another question here. If you mark up in A360, do those markups show inside your model hosted in A360?
Okay, that's something. So if I understand correctly, right now you can mark up in mobile. In the future, we're also considering to add the markups into A360 in a very near future in the A360 web as well. You can only see the markups in the mobile while you open the mobile. In the future, we're also talking about the options to go and save those markups as a comments, or you will be able to open that in a different type of devices.
Okay, great. And then as a follow-up to that, can you use the markups in Revit as well?
That's something I need to check back, but
I can answer that if you want, Lior.
Oh, of course, yes.
So the markups, when they're created in the mobile, it's actually an image. So to see that back in the Revit model, you would just have to load the image. So directly in the data for the Revit model, you're not going to see it, but you can look at the image to see the changes.
Great. Okay, and then here's a good one. Do all the users we invite need to have the programs installed to view the files?
Can you, Alison, can you ask the question again?
Yeah, so if you want to share a file with someone, do the other users need to have A360 or other Autodesk programs installed to view the files?
Yes, that's a great question as well. So there are two ways where I can actually go and share and collaborate. One way is if I want to, what I call the two-way communication, start adding people to my project so they can upgrade versions, look at the different files within the project itself. I'm just going to go and invite them into the project. So they will be able to see all the files, they can contribute, they can upload new versions, and of course manage the files, upload different files. The other way is basically the one way is to go and share a public file where you take that URL and send it over to the person, and whenever the person click on that, you will be able to see the viewer without the need to go to log in into A360. The difference between here is if you invite a person into A360, of course you will need to go and create an account within A360, but if you just share the file with a link to the person, it doesn't need to go and create an account. You can view that, of course, given the restrictions that the origin person, whatever setting he just created. All right.
Great. So someone else is asking, is it possible to download a single sheet from a Revit model in PDF or DWF format?
Let me check that. So,
yeah,
go ahead, Matt.
The answer is no. The answer is no. We don't export it back out unless you're using Fusion. Fusion has a couple different options like that. Yeah. But right now, the answer is no.
So today, as you can see right now from the Revit files, I will be able to go and view that those specific sheets. But if you download, you actually downloaded the entire Revit files, including the sheet.
Okay, great. And can we see the upload of the composite design again, please?
Of course, yes. So again, if try to find a much more fascinating file, just try to find. Okay, so you can either go and a couple of different ways. One way is you can actually go and upload in a folder or an assembly. For this one, when I click on assembly, I'm just going to select the files, the folders that contain all of those files. And when I click OK, what happens is I can see all of start uploading all of the different parts, including the the option to go and select the parent file. So you need to go select the parent file so you understand exactly and build you the whole relation. Now, you also have the option to go and drag and drop a folder. So if I just go, let me just try here to show you. You also have the option to go and drag and drop files, or you can drag and drop folders. And let me just go to this specific one. Just kind of show you. So if I just grab this one into the project itself, again, we try and understand, okay, these folders contain an assembly file. So if I select no, what will happen is just create a folder with a bunch of the files. But if I click yes, again, we coming into the upload assembly module where we ask you, okay, this is the files and this is the parent file itself. Of course, you have the option to go, if you think this is not all of the files and you want to upload more files, you have an option to go and add more. Okay. A couple of more things. So, of course, if you look at your profiles, you can actually see all of the different hubs that you assign. Right now, I have multiple different hubs. But let's say, for example, you have your own personal hub, and of course, you have the team hub, so you will be able to go and see that in one location. All right. All right. Looks like we have another good question. So, Bob, do you want to ask the question?
Oh, sure. So the customer what they're asking is A360 just a storage place for copies of the project, of which you can be used by others in the team to look at the project and possibly can coordinate. This is not a place where the main file that is being worked on in storage is actually work done by the team.
Yes. So, well, you know, considering like if we look at like different type of file storage, you know, it's uploading files. In my opinion, it's not enough. You know, we also need to have a way to go, not only just a file storage solution, but we need a tool that really understands what is really reasoning behind the design. And that's why I remember at the beginning of our session, we talked about the Fantastic Five. Those Fantastic Five really bring values to your team. So it's not just a file storage solution. It's really bring you value for your collaboration. If it's just sharing a file so people can view the same files, the same design, no matter if they're externally or internally, and collaborate on that. This is a fundamental value. It's not just store the files and share the files, and when I get the files, I cannot do nothing with that, and then I need to go download a different software to just view the file. In our case, you don't need to. When you share that file with someone, it doesn't need to download any software, you just open that. It can be viewed directly from A360. And of course, the whole collaboration aspect and what we call the design metadata that can really help you. And that's what I call like it's more than a file storage solution. So you can upload your files, you can view them, you can collaborate, you can create revisions. Most importantly, as I mentioned before, the commenting, which is really helpful for you to understand better what are your team talking about, what are the changes, what did they do. All of these things are extremely important for really good collaboration, especially, you know, when we look at the comments like we had before. So let me just load. So you can look here. Again, I open the comments, and I can just zoom into the comment itself. And that's what really, again, using our viewer, it helps to illustrate, and what we always say, a picture worth more than 1,000 words. So there is no better just to go visualize that file and jump directly to what exactly my team member, which located in a completely different word, talks about. All right. Okay. So back to our presentation. Okay. So, Fred, Bob, Ellison, any maybe final questions? Do you guys want to wrap up with some questions?
I have to unmute. Here's a good one for you, Lior. So they're talking about the public share when you send a link to someone. They want to know if that's tied just to that email, or can anyone look at that file?
So anyone that gets the link, if let's say, for example, I email to you a link and you forward that to someone else, they can look at that. However, of course, we have the security enhancement that you have a password. So you can always go and send it with a password. In addition, you can always stop that sharing if you feel there's something wrong with that.
Sounds good. And another one is, can you show how to connect a comment to an object in the model?
Yes, that's a great one. As you probably noticed, I love to demo stuff, so those demo questions are great for me. So let's do that quickly. So if I go right now and just view that Revit file again, and let's say, for example, I want to make a comment. Let me just zoom in. Let me just launch the comment panel. All right. You can see that I have three options. One is I can just go to point to a specific region. In this case, let's say I just want to go grab this guy, and okay, I'm going to say the parking lot is a little bit small one. So parking lot is small. And then what will happen, we remember exactly the point. So every time you just go and click, let's say if we just jump to this guy, for example, and then go jump to here, it just show you exactly that. Now, we can also point to an object. So if, for example, I have some problems with this roof, so I can always go click on this, go to that specific roof. It recognizes exactly that is the object is on fire. Oops. All right, and when I post that, of course, it remembers the object, the comments, and we also have the option to capture an image. So that's what's really nice. Let's say, for example, I just want to create a quick sectioning. Let's do this guy, and then, okay, I have the sectioning of this model. Of course, I wanted to just zoom in a little bit, capture an image, then go. This is the new view. And when I post that, of course, I will be able to go and see that comment with that image. There you go. All right. Okay.
One question about the model you're showing, Lior. Do you know if it has the other linked Revit files with it? I'm not sure. That was a question that came in.
What is this sheet? The whole sheet. And for that specific one, I have all the models. I can drill down. For this one, I don't think we save any other different files. But okay. All right, Ellison, I'm bringing this page to you. Again, it was a great pleasure to demo you all. And I'm really fascinated from the hundreds of people just went and showed us the new A360 experience. And there you go.
Yeah, thank you, Lior, for a great presentation. And thanks, everyone, for attending. Please let us know if you have other follow-up questions. I know there were questions that we didn't have time to get to today, but you can, again, email us at ask-a360@autodesk.com. And you can also get more information about A360 here at our address, a360.autodesk.com, as well as our community pages. We'll be sending you a recording of the webinar within 48 hours, along with links to a lot of these resources here. And we're also interested in getting your feedback about what features you'd like to see added, and other comments or questions you might have. So a brief survey will be launching in a moment to get your feedback. So please just take a moment to type in any feature requests you may have, and we'll see you next time.